Hey, before we get started today, after my Happy New Year message last week, a couple of you went and gave me 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. They really mean a lot. Thanks. Okay.
This is Mac OS Ken.
An Apple target goes higher, foreign phones in China fall off a cliff, and Tim Cook throws $1 million around. It is Monday, the 6th of January, 2025. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/MacOSCan. Apple ended the holiday shortened week last week on a note of positivity. On Friday, Apple 3.0 highlighted a piece from Street Insider, itself highlighting a note from Bernstein analyst Tony Sacconaghi, a former Apple bear who hibernated all over years of Apple growth, writes now like one fresh off the road to Damascus. What is he like? According to the note, he wrote, he and his appreciate the Cupertino company's mid-single-digit revenue growth, improving margins, disciplined capital returns, and double-digit earnings per share growth. Apple's strength is that it is increasingly a platform company. Wow, he just heard. Apple's strength is that it is increasingly a platform company, he says. 2.3 billion plus devices and nearly 1 billion unique, demographically attractive users. Hear that? He thinks we're attractive. Of course, there are worries as well. The note notes that Apple's valuation is at peak relative levels, the stock has a distinct seasonal trading pattern, and the iPhone 16 cycle is tepid and could disappoint. Sacconaghi says his firm would advise adding Apple shares if they go as low as $220 and or in the February to April timeframe. The analyst has an outperform rating on Apple shares. He used last week's note to raise his price target on the shares from $240 to $260. Believe Sacconaghi and his ilk have plans for Thursday, the 30th of January. That is when Apple hopes to wow Wall Street with December quarter earnings. The company has updated its investor relations page, naming that day as the day it'll release financial results for the first quarter of fiscal year 2025, aka the holiday quarter. Numbers will hit after the bell, about 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 1:30 Pacific. Half an hour later, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, Apple analysts will get on the phone for color and commentary with Apple execs, and they won't have Luca Maestri to kick around anymore. As had been announced, Maestri is now Apple's former chief financial officer. 9 to 5 Mac says Apple posted a Form 8K on Friday, issued to notify investors in the U.S. about events that may be important to shareholders. The Form 8K made it official. Luca Maestri is out as Apple CFO, and Kevin Parekh is taking the position. Though a new name to most of us, Parekh has actually been with Apple since mid-2013. Past positions at the Cupertino company include VP, Financial Planning and Analysis, and VP, Finance for Sales, Marketing, and Retail. Before that, Apple says Parekh held various senior leadership roles at Thomson Reuters and General Motors. As for Mr. Maestri, 9 to 5 Mac says he will continue to lead the corporate services team, including information systems and technology, information security, and real estate and development. Likely near top of mind for many of Apple's earnings call participants will be China, partly because of the incoming presidential administration, partly because China is so huge for Apple, and partly because of ugly numbers from the China Academy of Information and Communications Technology, or CAICT. Apple Insider ran a piece on those on Friday. According to that, shipments of foreign-branded smartphones in China reached 3.04 million in November. Reuters reports this is a 47.4% drop from the 5.77 million units reported for November of 2023. Of course, foreign-branded smartphones doesn't mean all iPhone, but here's the thing. When the foreign phone numbers in China are good, everybody reads them as all iPhone. Apple Insider says this figure is not broken down by vendor, so it's not possible to determine exactly how much Apple's iPhone has been affected. Seriously though, for years, positive numbers for foreign-made phones from CAICT were read as positive numbers for iPhone, and that was pretty much it. Doesn't one kind of have to read negative numbers in a similar way? There is still room for a bright spot. While CAICT is counting units, Apple will report revenue. If the iPhones being bought in China skew to the high end of the line, revenue could still crush it. Maybe by coincidence, maybe by design, news of the CAICT numbers was followed quickly by news of a New Year's sales event for China. 9 to 5 Mac ran a piece late last week outlining the offerings. Such a promotion is not surprising, but what is surprising is the inclusion of discounts on the iPhone 16 line, including iPhone 16 Pro Max. That's available at a discount of roughly $70 US. Other items on sale include iPhone 14, iPhone 15, iPads, AirPods, Apple Watch, and other stuff. The sales promotion started Saturday and runs through tomorrow. Something else that might boost Apple sales in China, another store. Mac Rumors says the Cupertino company has announced an opening date for the next one. A new store for the MixC Hefei shopping mall is set to open its doors on Saturday, the 18th of January at 10 a.m. local time. To promote the location, the company has posted a downloadable wallpaper and a face for Apple Watch. Both of those are available on the upcoming store's site. So Apple CEO Tim Cook has, made $1 million of his own money available to President-elect Trump's inaugural committee. Headlines of a number of pieces, including the one from Axios that broke the story, said Cook donated the money. I prefer the headline from Apple Insider that said Cook personally invested $1 million in Trump's inauguration. It was 4 years ago today. Trump encouraged a group of miscreants to storm the U.S. Capitol to try to stop the certification of Joe Biden's election. Now, there are those who would say he didn't encourage that, though once underway, he did nothing to stop them for hours as they beat Capitol Police, hunted members of Congress, ransacked the Capitol building, and tried to subvert a free and fair election. Sources tell Axios that Cook, a proud Alabama native, believes the inauguration is a great American tradition and is donating to the inauguration in the spirit of unity. No doubt that's why he also donated $1 million to the Biden inaugural committee 4 years ago. You didn't hear about that? Yeah, that's because it didn't happen. Axios says other Silicon Valley donors to the Trump inaugural committee include OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, Amazon, Meta, and Uber. Toyota, Ford, and GM are all also donating at least $1 million, according to the report. So either all those businesses and captains of industry support the guy who ran on a ticket of vengeance, or they're afraid to, not even stand up against him, but afraid to not be seen supporting him. How does Tim Cook lead the people at Apple at this point? How does Tim Cook donate or invest or whatever you want to call it? How does he do that and lead people who work for him who stand to be harmed? I know that's probably made some of you angry. That was really not my intention, I assure you. If you have any comments, agreeing or disagreeing, feel free to share them. I only ask that you please keep it civil. info@macoscan.com or call 716-780-4080. I really thought there was going to be more today, but that's actually going to do it for now. Until next time, that is the latest from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.